Good morning. So, this is it. I've crossed the threshold. I've cleaned the carpet. If you check my Instagram, I've cleared it. I figured out what the Polish lady was talking about when she said she's come to clean the carpet. I've cleared the carpet. My Instagram, I've taken it all down, other than the stuff that's promoting my foundation and the work that I do as an occult scientist, as an occult physicist. I can't do it with my YouTube post or X because it goes too far down. I will eventually do it on my YouTube as well. Once I get justice, I can take it all down. But it's not my fight anymore. That's what the Polish lady was saying. I can walk away now. So, this is New Beginnings, Friday the 13th. Oh, excuse me. So, the reason why I woke up a couple of hours ago is because I had a dream that I was meant to document and I got sidetracked. But the dream was basically just I was in a van with a pile of kids and we were making a TV show. And I was meant to document it. And then I got sidetracked. But it reminded me of years ago, years and years ago. I may have been still married to Martin and I'm pretty sure I still had my students. I had a dream that Thomas Gabriel and I were investigating a haunted house somewhere in America with this little girl from it was kind of like the Villisca ex murders kind of era. And we'd closed all the blinds and windows because all these TV psychics and mediums and that were trying to peek through the windows to see what we were doing because they were desperate to be a part of what I was making, but I wouldn't let them. And they were trying to pretend like they'd been supporting me this whole time and that they wanted in on what I was doing. They wanted to be a part of what I was doing because they knew that what I was doing was going to discredit everything they were doing because I was calling out how wrong they were. And so they thought if they got on board what I was doing, it would give them some credibility. Well, if I'm seen with her, then I can't be a fraud sort of thing. But I wasn't having a bar of it. And it actually gave me the idea. Oh, excuse me. It actually gave me the idea to make a TV show with my students, which is one of the reasons why. If you look at my old stuff, you'll see that I was training Ria and Nikki and all of that to do. I was training them up and introducing the public to them so that when I got to America, we could make the TV show together where we would be like Ghost Adventures and Most Haunted and all of that, but we would explore everything from the paranormal, unsolved murders, unsolved mysteries, that sort of thing. And then, of course, all hell broke loose. Now, we've been talking about this paranormal private eye show with the kids, where the kids go around solving cases to do with the paranormal and supernatural. And the reason why I started my blog back in 2013 is because I was watching a show with Chip Coffey and I thought it was called Psychic Kids or something, but I've tried to find it on YouTube and I can't find it. So maybe I got the name wrong, I don't know. But I know that he would get called to kids' houses who were experiencing ghosts and paranormal stuff. And the information he was giving them and the way that it was being treated pissed me off so much that I started making my blog. My blog was originally to reach out to children and their parents and their guardians to say, this is what this is and this is what you need to do. But all people started reaching out to me, and it snowballed into the whole Epstein thing, and and it's led me right up to here. But now that I've crossed over that threshold and been able to let it all go, I get to rewind and go back to the start, where I remove the students from the equation, where I remove the Epstein stuff from the equation. I get to remove it all and go back to the beginning. I go back to the beginning where it's just about me teaching kids the truth about the paranormal. So this dream that I had, I was in a van with a couple of other adults, and we had the kids in the van, and we were driving around going to other kids' houses and that, because remember I was saying about how I wanted to do a thing where Brahena Sothusa would get letters from kids? Well, now I know what I want this TV show to be, and they will have to be Swiss children. They'll have to be children that live in Switzerland that can come to the production company to work. So they'll have to be Swiss kids. Maybe German and Italian, but they'd have to be okay with coming to the production company, because the dream that I had, I was like in a laboratory, and I was ringing the kids, like I was getting, oh, I got a letter, oh, I got an email, and me ringing the kids and saying to the kids, we've got a case. And the kids are like, right, okay, we're on it. This was the TV show in my dream. So then the kids turn up, and I'm like, this is the story, this is the case, blah, 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 this child needs our help. So we equipped the van with like my clay and my spray and my bubbles and, the Bibles and the Quran and the Torah and all of that, like it was all there. And then we headed out to this kid's house who was seeing ghosts in their room, and the kids investigated it. They would bring their findings to me, and then I was showing them, right, this is what we need to do. And so I woke up and I thought, oh, I've got the idea for the show. So kids are going to contact us with their paranormal supernatural issues, and I'm going to train my kids up at the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft, and they're going to have all the answers. They're going to know what a ghost is, what a haunting is. But in the show, we're going to teach them the actual science of it. So we conduct scientific experiments, and we teach kids about physics and the atomic frequency and the creation frequency and all of it. We're going to use science and do scientific experiments to teach kids the difference between the supernatural and the paranormal, and then use my products and all of that in order to help them. It's a great way to promote the products. It's a fantastic way to get my physics out there. And we're helping the kids, because the thing is, with that show with Chip Coffey, a lot of these kids were getting sent to nut houses and being forced to medicate for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And he was doing nothing to defend them. He was doing nothing to help them. These parents were cutting their kids off to psychological hell because the parents didn't understand what was happening to them, and the doctors were feeding off it. And it was completely messing with these kids' lives, and it pissed me off so much. I started my blog, but then a couple of years later, all the students started reaching, oh, teach us what you do and blah, 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 and then all hell broke loose. So the Amber Wilkinson School, will deal with the grown-ups and that, but I personally, I'm going to give lessons to the kids. So when the kids write to us and they're talking about everything from ghosts, haunting, sleep paralysis, poltergeist activity, moving objects, like kinetic energy, I'll be able to teach them it all using science. So we could call it, I mean, I don't even know what I want to call the show at this point, but I know that the kids were armed with all the knowledge, and before they do anything with the child that writes in, they would thoroughly investigate with me watching over them, and then they would tell me their findings, and then we would decide together, because it's, if I'm there, I can help them learn, but I leave them up to doing the investigation while keeping an eye on them, and then they give me their conclusion, and then I show them how to fix it, and then they go back to the kid that writes to them, and then they fix it. It's kids helping kids. And they use the products and the bubbles and the this and the that. And then I step in where necessary. But it'll be 100% a kids show. And I'm thinking I want the kids to be aged between about 10 and 16. Maybe have about 4 or 5 of them. And I'll be there to watch over them, and the kids will be well armed with the knowledge of occult physics. So I'll have to get to know them. I'll have to give them classes and arm them with the knowledge, arm them with the things that they'll need. And then when I do my advertise for my auditions and stuff like that, when I get my PR people out there, we can let people know that if these kids have got a problem, come and call us, and we'll be like occult mythbusters. Maybe that's what I'll call it, the occult mythbusters or something like that. Because I can't call it paranormal mythbusters, because paranormal isn't the same as supernatural. And not all the kids that come to us will be dealing with the paranormal. They'll be dealing with the supernatural. So maybe just call it occult mythbusters or... But the thing is that I want to make it a club. I want to bring back kids joining clubs. So we've got the Honeybee Club, which is our version, going to be my version of Girl Guides and Boy Scouts, but mixed boys and girls, because honeybees are boys and girls. I want to have a beverage club. I want to have a gift basket club. I want to have this club for the kids, the Gold Wings Club. I want to have this paranormal club, the North Star Cadets, but Paranormal Mythbusters Club. We can do like send them magazines every month, and they'll be given like a membership card, and then maybe they can earn badges and they get sent products, but then the kids will be able to go out and do stuff themselves and deal with it themselves, but arming them with the knowledge. So they'd be like paranormal private detectives, and because YouTube is full of all these kids going out and investigating like derelict buildings and spooking themselves out in that. But they can teach kids about seances and Ouija boards and, you know, the dangers of scrying and seances and Ouija boards and using tarot cards correctly and, like, you know, all that sort of thing. We can teach the kids, because YouTube is full of kids who have done seances and Ouija boards who end up possessed and with serious psychological damage being done as a result. Paranormal activity starts happening, poltergeist activity, and there's millions of these channels on YouTube, and nobody's doing anything to help because nobody knows how to help. So these kids get sent off to shrinks who just medicate them because they don't know what the hell they're doing. So me and the kids can come in, whereas before it would have been the, you know, my students and I, going right back to the beginning for me when it all began, where it was me dealing with kids and leaving the adults out of it. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to teach the science of it, like teach them about stone tape theory and how nebulas work in conjunction with causing glitches in the matrix, well, you know, causing glitches in time. I can teach them about time theory, all of it. But if I have the kids with me as my little private investigators, they're going to be the kids helping the kids, but I'll be there in the background. They'll come, you know, like Charlie's Angels, how they had Charlie and Charlie would ring them on the phone. It'll kind of be like that. I may make an appearance. They might just hear my voice. But I'll be Debbie. I won't be Brehenis. I'll be Debbie. I'll be me. The real me. Brehenis is for the books and movies and cartoons and that. But in real life, it will be me, Debbie. They can call me Miss Debbie or... yeah. So I can deal with things like on the side, but I'll leave it for the kids to deal with. But if I teach the kids first, then they'll know what to do going into it. So then I'll send them in to investigate, ask all the right questions. If they have questions, they can ring me and say, hey, Miss Debbie, this kid is dealing with this, blah, 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 and we think it's this, but we're not sure, blah, blah, blah. So then I'll be able to tell them what to do. I'll be the voice over the phone, basically, just like Charlie with Charlie's Angels. And then they can come to me with their findings, and I'll say, well, what do you think needs to be done? And they can say, well, we can put some clay in, we can do this. They're Jewish, so we can do, they're Christian, so we can do this. They're Hindu, so we can do this. Do you know what I mean? And then I can do follow-ups with the kids, with the ones that write into us. So that's what my dream was saying. And the Polish lady, walk away, like, you don't need to worry about it anymore. So this is it. This is me stepping into the new. I'm not posting any more stuff about nothing that isn't connected to my ideas, my concepts, my science, the foundation, my future, what I'm building. I had a couple of adults with me, and I'm pretty sure those adults were just like cameramen, you know, sound and camera people who just happened to be driving as well. The kids are going to have to be Swiss. I'm going to have to find Swiss children between the ages of about 10 and 16 who are interested in the paranormal, who want... Elon just tried to cut me off. he packed attention when I was cleaning the carpet on my Instagram too. My Instagram suddenly started not letting me delete archive stuff. Like he was wanting me to keep the stuff up there. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. So yeah. So these kids are going to have to be Swiss. They're going to have to be aged between about 10 and 16. They're going to have to be okay with being on TV. They're going to have to be kids that are interested in science, physics especially, and interested in the occult, like paranormal and all that. And then we can go in. They can teach kids, because you have a lot of kids that dabble with things at that age that they shouldn't be dabbling in. And so while we will be teaching them about this is why you don't do Ouija boards, this is why you don't do this, blah, 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 it'll be explained in a way that uses scientific fact, where the kids aren't being lied to, but it's going to help them arm themselves psychologically to help them heal and deal with all the things that they're going to be facing in regards to the paranormal and supernatural. Beasts with Red Eyes, and they can recommend my books. I will make sure that when the kids get sent out with their bag of tricks, other than sprays and clays and all that sort of thing, they can have a crossbow. They might even have to have a drone, because we need to be armed for all eventualities. They'll be armed with everything they need. So we can send them, I'll send them out every episode. They'll go out with a set of my books as well. And if it turns out they're seeing something with red eyes, we'll give them a copy of the Mary the Fairy, Beast with Red Eyes, that explains about why you're seeing things with red eyes. And if it turns out that the kids are grieving the loss of someone, then, wishes make your dreams come true. You see what I mean? So we'll leave the kids with the things they need after the investigation's been done. And I'll kind of just be off on the side watching. And any mistakes they make, we can edit out and recorrect. Say, no, you've got that wrong. And then we can just edit it all out and do a retake. But the kids will be learning as they go, and then they'll be helping other kids without adults interfering. Because one thing I noticed with these investigation shows to deal with the paranormal, the supernatural, and that, when it comes to adults, is it's all about ego. How they're seen, how they come across, the like, shares, subscribes. These paranormal investigators, it's all about the latest technology and being the coolest and the this and the that, and there's no information, there's no science, there's no facts being brought into anything. It's all about ego. And that was the problem I had with trying to teach my students to come on board with this show, is that their pride and ego got in the way. But kids don't have those kind of issues because they're innocent. And they just want to be a part of the fun. And when we do have to go into like old prisons and sanitariums and things like that, any of the stuff that is too much for these young kids to deal with, that's when I'll take over. And I'll do like a watershed, like after 9 o'clock version, where the kids will do their bit, but then I can take over and do my investigations, and that where it's dealing with things that are too much for the kids to deal with. They can deal with the normal things, just the harmless stuff. Why we sleepwalk, why we sleep talk, why we have sleep paralysis, what sleep paralysis demons are, like all that sort of thing, all the normal stuff, things that go bump in the night. which I have a book for. The kid that's always seeing dead people, you know, that sort of thing. But I'll deal with the hardcore, you know, the unsolved murders and the missing kids and the missing people, and I'll deal with the hardcore adult stuff on my show, my Eye in the Sky show. Well, my Mystery Inside Histories. I'll do that, and that will be done. That we'll put that on the TV after 9 o'clock at night. But the kids will deal with the kids show stuff. So we'll put that on the tally around 3, 4 o'clock, so that the kids are coming home from school when they buy my streaming service. They'll come home from school, they can have their snacks, watch the tally, and this will be on. Just think of like a cross between Mythbusters, Most Haunted, and Wishbone. So, but it won't be acting. It'll be real. It'll be 100% real. They'll be real little mini investigators who'll get sent out with their bag of tricks, depending on what they need. And I'll make sure that they're able to deal with, it doesn't matter whether the kid who comes to us is Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, atheist, Orthodox, whatever, we'll have everything we need to help them and speak their language. So if they're Muslim and that, we can talk about, and even Jewish, we can talk about the jinns and what jinns are. Do you see what I mean? And if they're Catholic or Christian, you know, we can talk about Christ and Lucifer, and you know, we can speak their language, but do it in a way that's not preachy and scary and anything like that, but we'll be able to talk their language. If they believe they're being possessed and they feel that they need an exorcism, we can do that for them without getting priests and that involved, because it's not necessary. It's all psychological, and I know how to deal with that stuff. So if I teach the kids, then if the kids are dealing with things that they know is a bit heavier than what I've trained them for, that's when they would bring me in. Like with, if they think they need exorcisms. So, because it's all psychological. If it's paranormal, it's all in your head. So it's all dealing with the psychology of an imbalanced mind. But when you're able to explain it in a way using science, logic, doubt, reason, common sense, compromise, the subconscious, healing begins as soon as knowledge takes over. People fear what they don't understand, and when you arm them with the knowledge of what it is they're dealing with, it gives them the power. Learning is knowledge, knowledge is wisdom, wisdom is power. And when you have the power to control your own mind, nothing can touch you. It shields you. It gives you like a energetic shield, like literally. And as a biorhythmic engineer, I'll be helping them shield themselves. A lot of these kids are going to be dealing with paranormal activity because they're being bullied, or the parents have broken up, or you know, and it's going to be more about them just having someone to listen to them, because that's what Chip Coffee Cup, that's what I call him. That's what he wasn't doing. He wasn't listening to the kids. He wasn't listening to their backstories. And that's why I decided to create my blog, Spirits in the Paranormal, because it was all aimed at helping children. And then it just snowballed from there, and then look where I ended up. But I'm done with that now. I can let it all go. It's not my battle anymore. It's the world's taken over that fight for me. So now I can concentrate on going to Switzerland and setting all of this up and putting everything into position so that I can start making my shows, and as much and all as what Elon Musk is trying with all his strength to stop me, I'm too protected. This, he can switch my lives off as much as he likes and try and stop me from archiving all my investigations into the Epstein thing all he wants. It's not going to stop me. He has no power over me. He never has and he never will. Donald Trump, they have no power over me, which is also a story, a book. So the kids will be, I'll be like, I'll ring up the kids, like just imagine a TV show where I'm sitting in a backdrop in the production company, QE2 Productions, that looks like a laboratory with like a laboratory classroom, like a science classroom. And I'll be like, ooh, bing bong boom, I've gotten an email, or Miss Debbie, a letter's just arrived. Oh, here's, I don't know, what's a common Swiss name for a kid? Christian, I don't know. What's a common Swiss name? The literal only Swiss name I know, or Hans maybe. Got a letter from Hans. The only name I know is Yodok. And it like Yodok is a really old ancient name that's so old nobody uses it anymore. Well, I got a letter from young Yodok, and he's saying that he's been experiencing this, that, and the other thing. Right, okay. So then I ring the kids, bing, and so the kids will be sitting around like, oh, we're just at the ice cream parlour having a milkshake, and the phone rings. Ah, hey, Miss Debbie, how's it going? Look, I just got a letter from young Yodok, and I need you kids to get down here. We're on it. So they get on their scooters or bikes or whatever, and they, cycle to the production company. Just imagine this is a TV show, and they come and they're like, what's up? And I'm like, take a seat. So they take a seat, and I'm like, we got this letter, and I put it up on the projector, and they're like, and I'm like, so we need to go to him, and we got to help him. What do you think? What do you think's going on? And then they can give their little summarization, and we're like, well, there's only one way to find out. Have you got your investigation pack? Yep. Here we go. You got everything you need. And they'll check the bag, make sure they've got the clays, the sprays, the books, the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, whatever they need. And then they'll get in the van with the adults, with me sitting in the back seat, just watching, with everything being filmed. Me giving them off camera, support and everything like that. And then they'll go to young Yodok's house and, they'll interview him, they'll investigate, they'll do whatever they have to do, and then they'll decide what it is they think is going on. And then they'll ring me on the phone, because obviously we're going to have really good editing, because you're not going to see that I'm in the background on the TV show. So they'll ring me up on the phone. We think it's this. Blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, good job, guys. Do you know what to do? Yep, we just got to do this. This is excellent. Well done. I'm really proud of you. And then we can also do follow-up shows, like when we're not airing new episodes, we can do a follow-up. Hey, this is you checking up on Yodok. How's everything going? Always keeping an eye on them, making sure that they've got that support there when they need it, and letting them be like, do you want to join our paranormal, or not paranormal club, but do you want to join the club? And then maybe they can come on board and help their friends and that who are dealing with the same thing, and then it's Kids Helping Kids. It's part of the Kids Helping Kids Foundation. So, and then of course the fun part is we get to do experiments. This is how you'll know when it's like the old way as well. None of this bollocks with these spirit boxes, and because they're so easily manipulated, the way kinetic energy works, you can make the those EMF detectors and that, you can set them off using kinetic energy. Go back to the old days when you used to sprinkle flour on the floor and set up cameras. So, yeah. And the other thing I was thinking is they can have a pet dog, just like Wishbone. They can have a pet dog, because one way, I always say to people, and I've always said from day one, 2 ways to tell if there's anything in the house you need to worry about: taking a small child, taking a kid, or a dog. You watch how the kids react and you watch how the animals react. So they can have a pet dog with them. And we'll make it like a whole kids TV show. So just think Mythbusters meets Most Haunted and Wishbone. I'll put an episode of Wishbone in so you know what I'm talking about if you're not American, Canadian, British. I don't know if any other country like in Europe or Asia or Australasia and that had that TV show, but it was a dog that used to travel through history with his Canadian people, humans, and live out real historical events, and he'd narrate it. So it'd be kind of like that, but it'll be kids, like young kids. I'm thinking about 4 or 5 of them, aged between 10 to 16, making sure that the children that are called have got kids within their age range for support, and they can be like their support person, like their buddy. And then, we obviously would be keeping an eye on them, and then we can have like a membership club where the kids would pay, say like $15 a month or something, and they get a magazine, they get newsletters in the email, but they'll get an actual printed magazine, like a comic book sort of thing, and it'll be full of all sorts. And yeah. You see what I mean? Because we need to get kids back into having clubs and memberships into things. Get them away from TV and video games and social media, and get them out exploring and being around other kids, doing things that interest them. And if we get a whole pile of kids in a neighbourhood, all banding together to go and investigate an old abandoned house and turning it into like a whole thing for the channel, they can upload it on my version of YouTube, and make it a bit of fun. And they can add to like the club, and we'll have like a whole channel that's just for the kids of my little occult investigation. I need to come up with a name for it. Sorry, I just had coffee and my digestive system. Yeah, and make it like a whole thing, and then kids from around the world can join the club. And if I'm able to build schools in other countries, then it's planting more seeds that get to grow and spread the light. So then I not only have kids helping kids when it comes to this sort of thing, and it's promoting all my products and putting all my products out there, my books, my products, everything. I can also train adults at the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft to go out and do the same thing, like in their countries, in their towns and states and all of that. So the kids are probably going to have to be Swiss. It doesn't mean to say that we can't go to France and Germany and Italy to do shows, and Austria and all like the surrounding areas and that to do shows. But I just think for the sake of needing kids to be able to come to the studio, it's better if they're local. local kids who want to be on TV, who want to help other kids, but they're going to have to be kids who are into what I'm teaching, where it's taken seriously, but not so seriously that it becomes spooky. Because we don't, while there might be tense things that happen, I want to edit it in a way where it's not spooky. I'll do the spooky stuff after 9 o'clock. But when we're talking about kids helping kids, yes, it's going to be spooky, but we need to take it seriously, but while also having fun. Because if we're going to be teaching them about advanced physics, we need to make it fun so that they learn it better. And that's exactly what I do. I make learning about advanced physics and time theory and, quantum theory and all that, like I make it fun to learn. I can't do maths, so I have to make it fun. We'll have them putting on music and dancing around their bedrooms to raise their vibration. I can bring in musicians. What's your favourite? Like they might be a kid that plays a musical instrument, so I can give them a piece of music to play. Every time you feel scared, just pick this up and play it, or play it, and it just depends on what help they need. So this is me going all the way back. We'll have a website with, like a blog, where me as Miss Debbie will, each investigation they do, I'll do a write-up for it on the website, where kids can message in. It'll be like a WordPress sort of thing, where people can message in and ask questions. They can even do like lives where they answer questions. Like, we can take it so far, and it's just going to be a beautiful way to do it, I think. So it's me going back to my original plan back in 2013, which is ironic because today's the 13th, but keeping all the adults' pride and ego out the way. Except this time, I'm a fully developed scientist and biorhythmic engineer with products, and I'm armed with everything. Whereas before, I was just doing all this blind, and now I see. So I'm guessing in the dream the people in the van were my cameraman and sound person. We're definitely going to need a drone. We're going to need water pistols for holy water. And, for the rehua spray where we need to spray it where we can't reach. We're going to need the crossbow to fire tāne clay, in places that the kids can't reach, which is going to be fun. We'll be able to, the kids will be able to burn animal totem oils and lay down offerings, because the kids will teach them about how when you honour the animals in your neighbourhood, when you honour your wildlife, they protect you spiritually. So there's so much we're going to be able to do with this show. I just need a name for the show. I need a name for the club, and I need a name for the show. So I just think it's beautiful. It's like I get to erase all the bad parts, washing the carpet, you see, from that dream. I get to clean out all the crap. My teacher, remember, with Pauline, dredge up all the gunk and start again with clean, pure water. So I know I'm getting ready to get out of here, and I've got my beautiful little moon. God, I love him so much. Every time I think about him, I just see this big, bright, shining moon just looking down at me. I love you. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait till we're together. Come be in my arms. Oh, he makes me so happy. It just makes me so happy. The thought of going to Switzerland just makes me so happy. I haven't met him. I haven't spoken to him on the phone, nothing like that. But I know he's there waiting for me with open arms, wanting to cook me meals and run me hot baths and go for walks with me and sit out under the stars at night and just talk. Oh, every time I think about him, I can't stop smiling. So this is me walking across the meadow, leaving all the fighting and war behind me. I'm just following my wolf. He's leading me through all the back alleys. And now I'm walking across the meadow and I can see him, looking right at him, standing under that tree. It's like he's holding his hand out saying, come to me now, Debbie. Come on, come to me. I'm going to put my arms around you and I'm not going to let go. I'm going to be your shadow. So I don't know how that's going to work because I'm pretty sure he's got his own busy, successful career, but where there's a will, there's a way. We can work around each other, I think. So, yep. So that's going to be the first TV show that we get underway. I can't wait. And if I can get kids from all ethnicities, I know there's a lot of Germans and French and Italians and that live in Switzerland. So if I can get these kids that are, French, German, Italian, blah, blah, blah. But if they can be Indian, Asian, I know there's a lot of Asians that live there. So, yeah. Just so that the kids that are calling us for help, there's a kid there representing them in some way. Like if it's a Muslim kid, a Jewish kid, a Christian kid, like this, a Catholic kid, an atheist, like, do you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say, right? I don't know if it's going to work out that way, but ideally, if it could be that way, it would be fantastic. Because then the kids who are calling us for help have got another child there who understands them in a way that I can't on a personal level. They'll have someone there. They'll know what to do. I'm trying to read the Quran. I really am. I need help. And I want to get the Torah, but I can't afford to. It's quite expensive to buy a English interpreted one. But I will, because they're important like that, especially when it comes to putting products together. So, but I will. I'll get there. It's taken me this long to figure out the Christian Bible. So anyway, I'm going to go now and I'm going to bask in the glow of the love of my Moon King. And yeah, so now we rewind back to the beginning, back to 2013, but just having washed all the crap out of the carpet. So, oh my God, I'm so excited. I can feel it. It's like I can just feel it breathing down my neck. I can feel it's so close. I can't wait. I'm so proud of everything that I've created from all of this. Out of shit grows roses, eh? It's always darkest before the dawn. So I'm going to go. I'll speak to you later. I just want to go and get loved up now with my honey bunny. my sugar plum. My cherry blossom. And I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Sugar pie, honey bun.